Hey guys, I'm back with a DIY video. I have been wanting to transform our entryway for the longest time. Right now what you're looking at is a portion of it. There's a big slanted wall, and we've just been putting our shoes on this rack right here. We plan to get a cabinet because we don't have a coat closet. So there's the IKEA Brimnes halfway assembled. Right here you can see that we are just drilling some holes after we put on the doors. We're changing the handles, of course. We put tape over the holes just to make sure we didn't have any splintered composite. So while this cabinet is beautiful as is, I really wanted to cover up the glass just to make it not look so tacky, to where you could just see all of our things. I'm trying to cover the glass portion of it, so I'm just trying to figure out the best way to measure precisely. I ended up using paper to make the size of the window, and then after I got the right size, I was able to figure out how many panels of the molding I would need. And this is the saw that I'm using. It's a Stanley, let me see if I can get the package. This is what I'm using. A regular saw would destroy the material because it's not wood, it's a composite. So I got this one, and I wanted something that was fine so it wouldn't destroy it. So I purchased this one, and it's working pretty well. So yeah, unless you're using real wood, don't use a regular not hand saw, but drill saw. Okay, let me start off by explaining why I'm using this setup. We have a miter box, but I was unable to find it. So instead of leaving to go back to the store to purchase a new one, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make it work with what I have. So I had this wooden shelf that was just being just sitting there in storage, and some of my weights. And I figured I'll just set it up and try to do the best I can. And so this is what we ended up with. I definitely don't recommend this to anyone. Definitely get a miter box. It's not expensive, and it would be much easier. Okay, this is definitely not the way I'd recommend doing this, but this is what I have, and this is what I'm gonna do. I've already cut one piece like this, and it turned out okay. So I'm just holding it at an angle, and then trying to stay within that line. Definitely would recommend doing it this way if you have bad hand and eye coordination, but I think that looks pretty good. And every time I cut a piece, I'm measuring it against the glass. Okay, so here's the piece I just cut. I have to sand the edges, of course, but it fits perfectly. Okay, now I'm just gonna repeat the process. So here's 3 of them put together side by side. And I just need to figure out how much I need to cut for this last piece. Here we go. That's what it's gonna look like. I just have to paint it. Okay, so this is the piece that I've already finished. Excuse the dust, but I need to make more of these. I've counted out all my pieces, and unfortunately, I only have enough for the bottom 2 glasses. So I'm just gonna be doing half until I get more wood, and then so I'm gonna measure this against these extra pieces and then cut those, and then I already have one right here. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 6 more of the half pieces. All right, so I'm gonna get started on that. Right here, I am just measuring to get a straight line. The way I measured was for about 1.5 inches, and that was pretty much half the piece. So I'm just making a straight line so that it's, you know, a straight cut. Again, I have a makeshift cutting station at the edge of my kitchen, so this is the only way I can figure out how to do this. If anybody else has a better idea, let me know. But here we are, and I'm basically gonna have to cut all the way down. Now I know for this portion of it, a miter saw would not have worked. So if anyone has any ideas or suggestions for what would be a good other option, please comment below. Okay, so at this point, whenever I have the blade in, it is kind of knocking the edge right here. And so what I'm gonna do is turn around the wood and then cut. I got through. There we go. And so I'm just gonna sand them. Okay, so I have all my pieces laid out in my garage. About to start painting them. I'm gonna start with this row first. I'm just using this paintbrush. And I think this job would be better done with spray paint, but this particular color, we got a colored match to match the piece of furniture. And so we were only able to get traditional paint. So that's what we're gonna use. Ready to get started. So after I finished painting one coat on every piece, I let it dry overnight, and then I went back and did a second coat. And during that second coat, I made sure to get all the imperfections on the sides and other spaces that I may have missed, because you definitely want to do the ends, because that's going to be visible when you post them on the glass. Okay, so I almost forgot about these holes from the original handles, so I need to fill those in. I have this wood filler that I'm going to use, and it's going to come out white, but I'm just going to use the paint that I used for the molding to paint on top of it. So let's do that. So right here I'm simply squeezing the wood filler into the holes. I'm just doing a little bit and then smoothing it out with the end of the tube. You could easily use like a credit card or something else, but I just use that. Doing that, and then I'll go back in with a little bit more to try to make it as flat and smooth and flush as possible. But yeah, this is a super easy thing to do, and it dries very nicely. So this is it dry. All I'm doing is just putting a dab of paint to cover up the little white holes. Super simple. Doesn't have to be perfect because you can barely see it anyways. I originally purchased this to glue all these pieces on there, but I have commitment issues, so I'm scared to glue it just in case I want to change it up in the future. So I purchased this. I'll link it below since I took the packaging off. It's like easy tape, and it's applicable to many different surfaces, including wood and glass, even though this technically isn't wood, but I think it'll do the job. So hopefully I have enough. I might need to order another roll because I have all these pieces and these. So that's quite a bit of pieces. So let's get started. Okay, I also purchased these baskets from Target. This is what they look like. And for the price, the dimensions. So I got 4 of them. And I hope to put these on the second shelf in the cabinet just to make it look good, but also kind of store some things, hopefully like my daughter's sweaters and things and whatever stuff that we typically put in there. I don't know if her backpack will fit, so I may try to find a new place for a backpack, but I don't know, we'll see. They have some bigger ones, but they're more expensive, so I didn't want to spend $100 on baskets, so I got these. So we'll see. So I'm gonna start with the bigger pieces. I'm just taking this off and measuring. Just pressing that end to stick really good before I take the backing off. Now I'm gonna cut it right at the bottom. And here we go. Trying to take this backing off. There we go. Okay, so let's go put it on. So now I am simply just putting the pieces onto the glass. I would definitely recommend pre-fitting them first before taking off the adhesive, just to make sure, because I did end up having a couple spots where it wouldn't completely lay down. You'll see that later. I'm kind of pushing on it and trying to knock it into place because they're just barely a little bit too small. But it ended up working out, but I would just definitely recommend pre-fitting all 4 pieces, the exact pieces that you're about to tape down. Because while this easy tape is forgiving, it's hard to reuse because when it comes off the molding pieces, it doesn't stick back on as well. So it's not an end all be all. You can probably still get it to work, but it's just not as strong. And so if you want to keep the integrity of the tape, try not to have any mistakes. Another thing you want to watch out for is the pattern. So I did pretty good here, but there was a section on the other cabinet where I didn't do a mirrored pattern, meaning that the smallest molding piece was always on the outside for most of them, but on this cabinet I messed up and forgot to match that same pattern, and that's just something that bothered me. It may not bother you, but if you can control for that, I would definitely recommend it. Also, make sure you're doing this on a clean surface. I'm really glad I finally got down to doing this project. It's something that we've been wanting to do for the longest. There was just a big empty space and a need for something to fill it. So this would be the perfect thing. We don't have a hall tree in this house. So, or not a hall tree, but a mudroom. We don't have a mudroom. And so this is like the perfect mudroom for us because we don't wear shoes in the house. So we always just take our shoes off as soon as we get in. And it's aesthetically pleasing. So this is what the holes are looking like dried, with the paint dried on top of it. It's not perfect, but it doesn't bother me because when you're looking at it straight ahead, you don't really see anything. So I think it served its purpose. Okay, so this is the finished project. Walking in, this is what you see. So all I did was change up the height of the shelves. They're super adjustable and super easy to change. And so I just changed the height, and then I put these baskets that I purchased at Target. I put some of my daughter's sweaters in there, her ballet bag in there. Her regular school backpack will not fit in there, so I need to figure out what I'm gonna do, because if I try to stuff that in there, it's not gonna look appealing, and I don't wanna have it just hung up there. But this is it for now. And then also we have this space up here. We really wanted a cabinet that went up to the ceiling, but we couldn't find one, so we ended up with this. If anyone has any ideas for what to put up here, I thought about baskets, but if I put baskets up there, definitely don't want to have them on display like this. But if anyone has ideas, let me know. It looks really nice like this. I had always planned to leave the top row blank. So that was our plan. Our plan was not to leave the second row blank. We wanted to cover up the second row, but ran out of wood pieces. So I don't know, let me know what you think. Do you think I should go ahead and order more of the molding so I can go ahead and cover up that second row, and then just leave the top open? And that would actually be more functional, because then we could like just put backpacks and stuff in there, and then not have to worry about what it looks like. So I don't know, but this is it for now. I may go ahead and order more wood and then cover the other piece, but I wanted to go ahead and show it off because I'm so glad I finally got it done. This has taken way too long. couple weekends. But it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad we got this space filled. So yeah, let me know what you think about the finished project. One thing that I don't like is that you can kind of see the seams, but my husband was saying that just upon first look, you don't really look for the seams. I think I am, because I know that they're there, but the seams of the different wood pieces meeting together, but hopefully it's not that noticeable to the other people. But yeah, this is it. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to see more content like this, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, and I will be sure to do more DIYs and take you along my journey. So thank you again for watching, and until next time.